You said it was complicated. You said there was more to the story. You said you didn't want to take sides, and maybe you believed that. Maybe you told yourself you were being fair, balanced, reasonable. But let's strip that down. Because when it mattered, you chose. You always choose, even when you say you don't, because not choosing is still a choice. And choices show up in what you protect, not what you say, not what you post, not what you claim to believe, what you protect. That's where the truth is. Because protection requires intention. It requires you to decide what matters more, what you're willing to defend, what you're willing to excuse, what you're willing to overlook. And when something happened, when something didn't sit right, when something crossed a line, you felt it. Don't pretend you didn't. That moment, that pause, that internal shift where something inside you said, that's not okay. But what did you do with it? Did you hold on to it? Or did you adjust it? Did you question it? Or did you explain it away? Because explanation is one of the easiest ways to protect something you don't want to confront. You give it context. You soften the edges. You make it make sense so you don't have to deal with what it actually was. And sometimes that something is a person, someone you know, someone you respect, someone you're connected to. And that's where it gets uncomfortable. Because it's easier to challenge things when they're distant, when they don't touch your life directly, when they don't involve people you care about. But when they do, that's when truth starts competing with loyalty. And loyalty can be blinding. Not because you don't see it, but because you don't want to. Because seeing it clearly would require you to respond differently, to speak up, to question, to disrupt something you'd rather keep intact. And that comes with risk. Risk of tension, risk of conflict, risk of losing how things used to feel. So instead, you protect. Not loudly, not intentionally in a way you'd admit, but quietly, through silence, through justification, through giving the benefit of the doubt over and over again, even when the pattern is clear, even when the behavior doesn't change, even when you know deep down it shouldn't be defended, but you defend it anyway, or you don't challenge it, which ends up doing the same thing. Because protection doesn't always look like defense. Sometimes it looks like silence. Sometimes it looks like staying neutral. Sometimes it looks like saying, I don't want to get involved. But if harm is present and you choose distance, what are you actually protecting? Because you're not protecting what's right. You're protecting what's familiar, what's comfortable, what's easier to maintain. And that maintenance comes at a cost a cost someone else is paying while you keep things intact, while you keep relationships smooth, while you avoid disruption. Something else goes unaddressed, and unaddressed becomes repeated because there's no interruption, no resistance, no moment where it's forced to face itself. So it continues. And your silence, your distance, your decision not to confront it becomes part of that continuation. That's the part people don't like to sit with because it doesn't feel intentional. You didn't mean to protect it. You didn't set out to defend something wrong. But impact doesn't wait for intention. It moves anyway. And your position, whether active or passive, still plays a role. So when you look back, when you think about those moments, those situations where something didn't sit right, ask yourself honestly, who did you protect? Was it what was right, or was it who was familiar? Was it truth, or was it comfort? Because the answer isn't in what you said, it's in what you allowed to continue. And now, you don't get to separate yourself from that. Not after awareness, not after knowing, not after feeling it and choosing how to respond. Because response is where alignment shows, not intention, not belief, action and inaction. So I'll ask you again, who did you protect? Because that answer says more about you than anything you've explained. This is witness state. Who did you protect?